sit down. And if you want to stretch just a little bit, wiggle just a little bit, might feel really nice this morning. Anything that calls to you. And then just slowly find your way to stillness, sitting up nice and tall. So you can sit cross-legged, you can kneel, you can sit up on top of a block or a blanket. You can grab a blanket and wrap it around you if you're cold. That's what I'm gonna do. And then just sit up nice and tall with your eyes closed. Rest your hands in your lap, bring your hands to your heart, one hand to heart space, one hand to belly, whatever works best for you. And then just take these first couple moments to really become more present, more aware, and even more grounded. So any thoughts that might be fluttering around your mind, perfectly normal, perfectly fine. Just start to notice them without entertaining them, without wandering off with them. And then bring your awareness to the ground underneath you. Feel it. Underneath your sit bones, its stability, its support. Bring your attention to the inside of your body. So starting to notice not just physical sensations, but also energetic and emotional sensations that might be present. So just anything you feel on the inside. Anything you can feel with your body rather than thinking it with your mind. Start to feel into your breath. So that subtle expansion and contraction, that subtle rise and fall. And then next time you inhale, fill up as big as you can. Hold at the very, very top in absolute fullness. See if you can sip in even a little tiny bit more. And then when you're ready, just big open mouth sigh to release and let it go. Do that twice more. So inhale, fill up. Hold in fullness. Sip in your little bit more at the top. Hold, hold, hold. Exhale, big sigh, release. Last time. So biggest, hugest breath you've taken all morning long, maybe all week long thus far. Hold at the top. And as you hold, keep holding, but see if you can relax and soften around your breath. Soften through your outer body, through your outer shell, and then when you're ready, just that huge exhalation out your mouth, let it go. Seal your lips, start to cultivate Ujjayi breath, so in and out through your nose by way of the back of your throat. And you can stay here, just hang out, breathe, connect to your own internal rhythm for really as long as you'd like. But as you're ready, we're gonna start to bring in movement. So if you want to start from your seat, just kind of moving through your torso, maybe taking some seated cat-cows or some circles with your torso might feel really nice. If you want to start just with your neck, letting your head fall one side then the other, or even drawing smiley faces with the crown of your head. So anything that feels good to you in your seat. And then eventually, let's come forward to our hands and our knees, to our tabletop position. That's where we will all eventually end up. Tabletop position, just moving, just exploring. So cat-cows, hip circles, child's pose, cobra pose. Just whatever feels good in your body. So it's your exploration, your intuitive movement. There is no right or wrong. You're just moving with your breath, experiencing what it is like to live in your body on this Thursday morning. All right, my friends, and then let's say in your next 3 to 5 breaths, so somewhere in there, we'll meet back in our first downward facing dog. So get there when you're ready, get there in your own time. And if you are like me at all and you're cold this morning, then really use your breath to build your heat from the inside. So those big, spacious inhalations and those long, strong exhalations all the way to empty. So what we want to do is heat ourselves up from the inside, build our internal fire, stoke our internal fire with every breath. So I promise you, it is totally possible to warm yourself up with your breath. Play with that, explore that, get curious about that. Once you're in your down dog, give yourself a moment to explore, to move around, maybe pedal out your heels, maybe walk your feet out really wide and stretch from side to side. So just any exploration in your down dog that calls to you. This is a pose we do all the time, but every time we show up on our mats, our bodies are different. So this pose is going to feel a little bit different. Notice that. Adjust for that. Honor where you are at today in this moment. And then make sure, even as you're exploring in your physical body, make sure your breath is still there. It's still big and spacious. It's still just as powerful as it was at the very beginning of class when that was our only focus. So our goal is to keep our breath moving and flowing throughout our entire practice as much as we can. Take a couple more breaths into your down dog. And then after your couple more breaths, just crawl your hands to the back of your mat until all of your weight comes into your feet. So you'll find yourself in a forward fold eventually. Bring your feet out nice and wide. I'm even going to say mat width distance apart, so wider than your hips. All 10 toes face directly forward. On an inhalation, find your way to a halfway lift, so spine gets nice and long. Now pause here, bring your left fingertips to the ground, or you can use a block under your left hand. Right arm to the sky for a little twist. Try to keep both legs as straight as possible. If you need to bend your left knee a little bit or a lot, that's fine. Twist from your center. So feel that wringing out sensation coming from underneath your ribs. Take one more big deep breath, maybe reach a little higher through your right hand. And then end of your exhale, unwind and switch to the other side. So right fingertips on the ground, left arm to the sky, and then twist, twist, twist from your center. Both legs straight, spine long, or if you need to bend your right knee a little or a lot, feel free to do so. So listen to your body, make sure you can breathe freely, and then use your breath, especially those exhales, to take you a little bit deeper, to twist just a little further. One more round. End of your exhale, unwind. Bend your knees a little or a lot. Grab opposite elbows for ragdoll pose. And just kind of let your torso sway or bob. Anything that feels good. Your neck is relaxed. Your head is heavy. Slowly begin to heel toe your feet in. So they're either hips width distance apart, or if you prefer big toes to touch, that's fine. Once you've got your feet the way you like them, release your elbows. Inhale to a halfway lift position. So one more time, just realigning, lengthen out. Exhale, fold, bow. Now, your choice, roll or reverse swan dive. Take it all the way up to stand. Inhale, stretch your arms up. And exhale, hands to your heart center. All right, let's flow for a moment. Inhale, high mountain, reach up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, slow swan dive. So lengthen, lengthen, lengthen for as long as you can. Then let it all go, forward fold. With your inhale, halfway lift, so spine nice and long. Get all the rounding out of your back. Exhale, fold and bow. Empty all the way out, press into your feet, lead with your heart, so reverse swan dive this time. Rise all the way up, breathe in as you reach. And exhale, draw your hands back to your heart center. Let's do one more round, one more half sun salutation like that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, let your breath guide you slowly all the way down so you are in no rush. Feel your body move through space. Halfway lift as you breathe in. So use your awareness to find length, to get all the rounding out of your back, lengthen through your side bodies as well. Exhale, bow, fold in. Now empty all the way out, press into your feet, lead with your heart, rise up. Inhale, stretch your arms up high, try to touch the ceiling with your fingertips. And exhale, hands to your heart center. All right, inhale, take your arms to the sky. And then this time, bring your hands behind your back. Let's interlace. So starting to work into the fronts of our shoulders. Roll your shoulders back and down and hug your back muscles around your spine. If it's available to you, start to reach your hands back away from your body. Make sure you don't lock out your elbows. You can either stay here or add one more little step on top of all that. So add a little baby back bend. Let your heart lift up. You can press your hips gently forward, but keep your low belly strong. Breathe into the front of your heart, front of your shoulders. Take one more inhale. Hands stay clasped. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Slow dive all the way down. Relax your neck at the bottom. Take about 3 breaths here just to stay in your forward fold with your fingers interlaced. So if you can, keep reaching your knuckles up towards the ceiling. Maybe even start to reach them forward towards the front edge of your mat. Everybody relax your neck. So if you need to, bend your knees more. Lift through your sit bones, through your butt cheeks, and then lift through your knuckles. Relax your face, relax your neck. Take one more inhale. Exhale, hands to your low back. Gently release your clasp so you can let your arms hang for a moment. Maybe give them a nice little shake out. And then plant your hands and start to crawl your hands forward until you find yourself in a plank position. So top of a push-up, wrists under shoulders, hips level with your shoulders, and then you're welcome to come to your knees at any time if you want to modify. Take a great big inhale into your plank, and then as you exhale, lower halfway down. So if you practice with me often, find that little rock forward, then lower halfway. Inhale, press back up, high plank. One more time. Exhale, halfway down. So little rock forward, your elbows are stacked over your wrists. Inhale, press up. And then slow as you can possibly go. Let's take it all the way down to our bellies. Back bend of your choice as you breathe in. So I'm going to go for a Spider-Man Cobra. You can come with me or take a different variation that works better for you. I'm going to twist from side to side with my breath. So you can take an extra couple breaths just exploring your back bend a little bit. Stretching through your front body. Feeling that mobility through your spine, your shoulders. When you are ready, no rush. We're going to meet in a tabletop position, so just hands and knees. Find your way there in your next couple of breaths. And then, once you're on your hands and your knees, make sure you're setting yourself up with awareness. So spread your fingers really wide. Push down through your hands, like you're trying to push the ground away, and then draw up through your belly button. See if you can keep this nice, strong position that we've created. So right now you should feel strong. If somebody were to come sit on your back, you wouldn't collapse in any way. So from here, take your right arm forward and your left leg back for a spinal balance. So just actively reach forward and back. You're not trying to reach up, you're just reaching forward and back. So rather than a smiley face shape from your fingertips back to your toes, think of just a strong, powerful line. Reach, reach, reach. Pull yourself apart. Your right hand is like you're going to shake somebody's hand. So your palm faces in, your thumb faces up. Left toes face towards the ground, so your hip is nice and square. Take one more great big inhale, pull yourself apart. And then exhale, slow motion, elbow to knee. Curl in, round your spine, hollow out your belly. Inhale, re-extend. Stay connected, stay integrated as you reach forward and back. Slow motion again, elbow to knee. Curl in, hollow out. Nice work, my friends. Inhale, lengthen. Spread your fingers. Press with your back foot. This is your last one. Exhale, elbow to knee. Hollow out. Empty out. Good work. Inhale, reach. And then exhale. We'll move towards our half bow variation. So right arm reaches back. Left heel towards your left butt cheek. Lift your heart. You can stay here, or if it's available, grab hold of your foot. Kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot, lift your heart up, and then keep a little tone in your belly, but see if you can really squeeze your back muscles around your spine and use that strength there to open more through your front body. Spread your left toes as you hold your foot in your hand. Kick and pull, hug in with your inner thighs, breathe. Give me 2 more huge breaths. Nice work, my friends. End of your next exhale, release, reach forward and back one more time. So spinal balance, breathe in. Exhale, set your right foot down. Swing your left leg all the way off the left side of your mat so it comes out to the left. Your left toes are facing forward. So it's like you're in a half wide-legged straddle position with your left leg. Now take your right arm, reach it out to the right. Reach it all the way up. Reach, reach, reach. Thread your right arm underneath you. So reach through like you want to grab hold of your left big toe. You can come down to rest on the outside of your shoulder, outside of your head, and then take this pose wherever you want to. So maybe you wrap your left arm behind you. Maybe you interlace your left fingers with your right. None of that. No variation is better than the other, right or wrong. It's just different. So what do you want to get out of it? Go where your body calls you to go. Take about 3 to 5 more deep breaths. So using every single breath to just go a little bit deeper into your own body. Take each exhale all the way to emptiness. So we are in no rush. Go slow and be okay with going slow. Nice work. If you do happen to have your left hand lifted, bring your left hand back to the earth. And then next time you breathe in, unthread your right arm. So reach it all the way up. And I come up to my left fingertips. You can too if that feels better to you. Take an extra breath as you reach as high as possible. So reach, reach, reach. Open up through the right side of your chest. And then bring your right hand back to the ground. Pick up your left foot. Now swing your left leg all the way off the right side of your mat. So right tiptoes come off the right, or excuse me, left tiptoes come off the right side of your mat. Turn, gaze back at your right toes. Gaze back at your left toes. All right, so as you're turning, you feel that length in your left side body. Squeeze through your inner thighs. Press down through your palms. Draw up with your belly button. Take one more deep breath here. And then come back to a neutral spine, regular tabletop. And let's take it back to our downward facing dog. Okie dokie, my friends. From your down dog, next inhale, take your right leg to the sky. And then today, go for it. Whatever you want to do. Open your hip, roll your right ankle, circle your right knee. So anything that feels good in your three-legged dog, any exploration. You can also just keep your right leg extended really high, really straight and strong. So totally up to you. Give me about 2 or 3 more breaths. Feel the strength in your center. So you've got an invisible rope attached to your belly button. It's pulling up and it's tugging slightly back. So you're still connected. You still are in integrity even as you explore. Everybody extend your right leg as high as you can. Stretch it out. Take one more big inhale. And then exhale, right knee to your nose. So curl in, hollow out your belly. Stay here as you breathe in. Push the ground away. And then exhale very softly. Step your right foot through. Let's rise up to our crescent lunge. So front knee over front ankle. High on the ball of your back foot. Back leg is strong and powerful. Drive your feet down into the ground and then energetically think of pulling your front heel back, back toes forward. That's going to help hugely with your balance. Low belly is toned, side bodies are long, chest is lifted. Soften your face and feel your breath as it moves through you. Slow and steady. Good morning, Miss Ruby. Ruby's coming to say hello. Come here, baby. Take one more big inhale into your crescent lunge. And then exhale, bring your hands down to your front thigh. So press your hands into your front thigh, lean forward. So you've got a diagonal line from the top of your head back to your left heel. Now as you push into your front thigh, think of puffing up into your low back. So draw navel to spine, breathe into your low back. Prepare to balance. We're going into warrior three. So root into your front foot. And then back foot floats up as you lean forward. So you're kind of propelling yourself forward. Think of that nice strong line from the top of your head back to your left heel. Hips are square. You can stay here, absolutely stay here, or option to reach your right arm forward. So now you're in an asymmetrical warrior three, just like when we were on our hands and our knees with our right arm forward, left leg back. You're doing the same thing here. So work your balance. Pull yourself apart, reach. Take one more big inhale. Now listen, as you exhale, right fingertips to the ground or right hand to a block, left hand to your left hip. Open it up, so half moon posture. Peel your left hip open, stack it on top of right. Eventually you might reach your left arm to the sky. If you want to move into the bound variation, you're welcome to. Bend your left knee, reach back, grab hold of your left foot. Kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot. So your pose, your expression, about 2 or 3 more breaths. If you're falling in and out, no big deal. That's part of your practice. Just meet yourself there. So wherever you're at, working the pose with your breath, working your balance. Keep your face nice and soft. If you are holding onto your left foot, slowly release and re-extend. Everybody take one more big inhale. Now listen, exhale, all 10 fingertips to the ground, left knee to your nose, so just curl up into a little tiny ball. Stay balanced on your right foot. Stay here, take a big inhale. Stay here, take a big exhale, get even smaller. Good. Now, inhale, extend your left leg to the sky like standing splits. And then step your left foot all the way to the back of your mat, so you're in a low lunge position again. Back knee comes gently to the ground. If you need extra cushion, you can fold over the side of your mat or grab a blanket, pillow, sweatshirt, anything to put under your back knee. Bring your hands inside your right foot. Walk your right foot out to the width of your mat and walk your right foot forward a little bit as well, so you can see my ankle is kind of in front of my knee. Now, from here, start to lower your upper body down. Not by collapsing all of your weight to the left, which is going to be really tempting, but more pushing your weight to the right and then just letting your heart melt closer to the ground. Maybe you just bend your elbows a little bit. Maybe you walk your hands forward. Maybe you're down on your forearms. If it feels good to spin your right toes out to the right or roll onto the outer edge of your right foot, that is just fine. We'll be here for about 4 or 5 more breaths. So as long as you're pushing most of your weight to the right, you can really kind of just relax around the posture, settle in. And those spaces that feel really tight, really stiff, lots of intensity there. Breathe into them, soften around them. Give them some extra attention, some extra love. Take about 2 more deep breaths. You can exhale out your mouth at any time if you'd like to. Good work, my friends. Lift back up to your hands. Now you're gonna keep your hands inside your right foot. Keep your back knee on the ground. Pivot your right toes all the way out to the right, so as much to the right as you can. Left hand's going to stay down. Right arm is going to reach forward, up, and then as you turn and look back, you're gonna reach your right hand back. Let your left hip, so your back hip, moves closer to the ground. Right hand reaches back towards your left toes. Your right toe should be facing out to the right. So this is called a horizon lunge. Press down firmly through your left hand. Try not to sink into your left shoulder. Maybe gaze back over your right fingertips. Let your left hip get closer to the earth. Take about 2 more breaths. Good job. And then next time you inhale, reach your right arm up. Bring it back overhead, right hand to the ground. And then you're gonna stay on your left knee, but just bring your right knee back next to your left knee. So here we are, back in our tabletop position. You can kind of adjust your hands how you need to. And then take about 3 clockwise circles with your hips. All the way around. Move with your breath, no rush. Nice work. After you're taking about 3 of those, sit back into a child's pose. Bring your knees out wider than your hips, big toes touch behind you. So child's pose, hips to heels, forehead rests down on your mat. Find your breath, so fire it up if you've lost it. Now listen, next time you inhale, you're going to come up through your tabletop, move into a scorpion cobra. So let your hips move towards the ground, lift your heart, big toes touch behind you. And then exhale, rock back into your child's pose. Do that a couple more times. So inhale, come forward, scorpion cobra. Heart lifts, shoulders back and down. Hips towards the ground, big toes touch, and exhale, rock it back. Last time, inhale, come forward, heart open, big toes touch, hips towards the ground, little tone in your belly, exhale, takes you back, child's pose. All right, this time just a tabletop. Bring your knees in so they're hips width distance apart. Find your strong, sturdy tabletop position. So really spread your fingers, push the ground away with your hands, lengthen through the back of your neck, draw your belly button in and up. All right, left arm forward this time and right leg back for your spinal balance. So remember, not a smiley face shape, strong straight line. It's like you're going to shake someone's hand with your left hand. Right foot presses back actively, so right leg is strong. Take one more big inhale. Pull yourself apart. Make sure your belly's not just dropping. Exhale, elbow to knee, slowly with control. So curl in round, even through your mid-back. Inhale, re-extend. Spread your fingers, press with your back foot. Exhale, elbow to knee. Curl in, empty all the way out. One more time, inhale, lengthen, reach, 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 reach. Slow motion, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, re-extend, get long. And then without being in a rush about it, let's move into our half bow variation. So left arm reaches back, right knee bends, heel towards your butt. If you can, grab hold of your foot. Kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot. Squeeze your inner thighs in towards midline, towards each other. Heart lifts, belly tone. So you really want to think of creating this back bend from your mid and your upper back, not just your lower. Make sure you can breathe big and freely. Give me 2 more big, huge breaths, your fullest expression. Hug in with your inner thighs. That's your connection to center. So squeeze towards midline, and then from there, expand your fullest expression. Last big breath. End of your exhale, slowly, without slingshotting out, release. Re-extend, neutralize, big inhale, spinal balance. Exhale, set your left hand down, and then extend your right leg all the way out to the right side of your yoga mat. I'm kind of scooting off my mat just because I don't have room because there's a wall right next to me. So right leg extends out to the right. Right toes face directly forward. Take your left arm out to the left, reach it up. Big inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, thread your left arm through. So reach like you want to grab hold of your right big toe with your peace fingers. Some of you may be able to do that, and if so, you're welcome to do it. Gently rest on the outside of your shoulder, and even more gently on the outside of your head. Any variation you want to take, and then just your big, deep Ujjayi breaths. Expansive, spacious inhales and long, strong exhales all the way to emptiness. Let's take 2 more rounds. And if you do happen to have your right hand lifted, bring your right hand back to the ground. Everybody, with your next inhale, unthread your left arm, so reach it all the way up. And like I said before, I come up to my right fingertip, so feel free to do that if you'd like. Reach as high as you can, take an extra breath, so really, really open. And then end of your exhale, left hand comes down. Pick up your right foot, swing your right foot all the way off the left side of your mat. So your right tiptoes come to the ground, left side of your yoga mat, and then turn and gaze back over your left shoulder. Look back at your right tiptoes. Squeeze your inner thighs. Try not to drop your belly a lot, so draw navel to spine, press down with your hands. Feel that length in your right side, work it and breathe into it. One more deep breath here. And come on back to center, regular tabletop, both knees on the ground, both hands on the ground. Let's find our way back to downward facing dog. Fire up your Ujjayi breath. Next inhalation, left leg to the sky. And then you choose again. So if you want to stay here, perfect. If you want to open your hip, if you want to circle your knee a few times, maybe circle your ankle. So your choice, anything that calls to you. Keep the integrity of your 3-legged dog, so you're still lifting from your center. You're still pressing through both hands. Shoulders are strong. With your next inhalation, return your left leg, so it's just reaching really, really high. Stretch it out. Big inhale here. Exhale, left knee to your nose. So curl in, round your spine, push the ground away. Take a big inhale. You should be on your back tippy toes. And then exhale, step your left foot forward. And let's take it up to our crescent lunge. So take a moment. Settle in. Find stability through your legs. Make sure your hips are nice and square. So a lot of times I think my hips are square, but there's actually still a little bit of adjustment I can do. So think left hip slightly back, right hip slightly forward. Squeeze with your inner thighs. Tone through your belly. Chest is lifted. Think of puffing up through your chest, through your heart. Reach through your fingers. Soften through your face and just breathe. If you'd like to, you're welcome to close your eyes, go inward, and just see how this pose feels. Simply feels from the inside. So not thinking your way into feeling, just feeling. Take one more big inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring our hands to our front thigh. Kind of lean forward. So find that diagonal line. Rather than thinking of arching your spine like you're trying to do a back bend, think of rounding only through your low back, just your low back. So like you're breathing into your back body, now puffing up through your back body, drawing navel to spine. You want to keep that. That's your strength in this next posture. We're preparing to balance. So as you are ready, let's float it up. Root into your left foot, right leg floats. Warrior 3 variation. Hips stay square. Keep breathing down into your low back. Keep drawing navel to spine. Press with your back foot. You can absolutely stay here or reach your left arm forward for your asymmetrical warrior 3. So left arm forward, right leg back. Just like when we were on our hands and our knees. Reach through your fingertips. Press through your back foot. Breathe into your low back. Take one more big inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left hand to the ground or a block under your left shoulder or just slightly out in front of your left shoulder. And then right hand to right hip. Start to open it up. So right hip stacks on top of left. Eventually right arm to the sky. If you want to move into your bound variation at any time, you're welcome to. So your pose, your fullest expression right here, right now. If you fall in and out of it, perfectly fine. That's part of your practice today. Meet yourself there. So be compassionate, be kind. That is why we practice yoga, so we can learn how to be kind to ourselves, so we can learn how to fail and get back up again. It's good for us. Take about 2 more rounds, your fullest expression wherever you're at. If you do happen to be holding onto your right foot, slowly release, everybody. One last big inhale, extend, lengthen. Exhale, all 10 fingertips to the ground, right knee to your nose. So curl in. We're going to stay here for a full breath, just kind of resetting through our spine. So big inhale into your back body. Exhale, curl in even more. And then inhale, standing splits just for a second. Step your right toes to the back of your mat so you're back in your lunge position, low lunge. Hands to the inside of your left foot. Bring your back knee down gently. Use cushion if you need it. And then walk your left foot out to the left side of your mat and a little bit forward. So start with your ankle slightly in front of your knee. Now, from here, without just sinking over to the right, which is so much easier. I wish I could do this instead because it's so easy. I could be here all day. I could watch TV like this. Rather than doing this, push your weight to the left and then start to lower your upper body down. Left toes can spin a little bit out to the left. You can even roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. So as long as you're not collapsing to the right, you're pushing your weight to the left, you will pretty much stay in integrity of the posture, so you really can just relax into it, soften around it. Take about 3 to 5 more rounds, allowing yourself to just sit with that discomfort, with sensation, with intensity. Breathe into it. Nice job, my friends. Last couple of breaths. Exhale out your mouth if you want to. And then lift back up to your hands if you're not there already. Keep your hands inside your left foot. Spin your left toes all the way out to the left, so as far as you can. Right hand will stay down. Left arm will reach forward, up, and then back behind you. As you reach back, let your right hip come down towards the ground. And I'm going to walk my right hand forward a little bit out in front of my shoulder. That might feel better to you. So left hand reaches back. Press into your right hand. Think of lengthening through your right side body. And everyone's going to feel this posture in a slightly different place, just depending on your body. So wherever you feel it, settle in, breathe into it. Left toes are pointing out to the left. Left arm is reaching back. Your right hip is moving towards the ground. Right side body long. Last couple of rounds. Horizon lunge. Next time you inhale, reach your left arm up and all the way over. So both hands back down to the ground in front of you. Work your left foot back. Here we are in our tabletop. So you can kind of scoot your hands back a little bit, adjust in whatever way you need to. Take your 3 counterclockwise circles now. So all the way over to 9, down to 6, over to 3, and up to 12 a few times. And then once you've taken about 3 rounds of that, child's pose with your knees nice and wide, so wider than your hips, big toes touch. Sit back. Exhale in your breath into your child's pose. You can stay here if you want, otherwise inhale. Come up through your tabletop into your scorpion cobra. Shoulders roll back and down, heart lifts, belly tones. Exhale, rock back. Hips to heels. 2 more like that. Inhale, scorpion cobra. So you can kind of press your pelvis down. Press your hips down, but keep that tone in your belly. Roll your shoulders back and down. And then rock it back. Exhale. Last time. Inhale, scorpion cobra. And exhale, downward face. Or excuse me, child's pose. And then up to tabletop, and then back to downward facing dog. So once you're in your down dog, take a moment and just walk it out. Lengthen, breathe into all the space. So think of space in between each little vertebra, space in between your ribs, space in between your shoulders. Send your breath into all those spaces. Let's take one more big inhale here. Exhale, slowly crawl your hands to the back of your mat. So again, just like at the beginning of class, we're coming into our forward fold, back of our mat. Once you've arrived there, take an inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, bow. Root through your feet. Let's take it all the way up to stand. Inhale, stretch your arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. All right, playing with balance for a moment. You can stay where you're at, or if you like to move to a wall or something like that, that's perfectly fine with me. That's the beauty of your home practice. So, right foot's gonna root down. Left heel towards your left butt cheek. So bend your left knee. Left heel towards your left butt cheek. Now listen, right hand reaches back to grab your left foot. Right hand grabs the inner edge of your left foot. Once you have that, hug your knees towards midline, both of them. Tone your low belly. So make sure you're not just letting go with your belly. Left arm to the sky. Hug in with your inner thighs. Find your balance, find your breath. This may be where you stay. Otherwise, start to hinge at your hips. Keep a little bend in your standing leg. As you hinge, kick your foot into your hand. Pull your hand back into your foot. Twisted dancer pose. Just like we did on our hands and our knees. Same thing. Kick and pull. Spread your toes. Hug in with your inner thighs. And if you're gazing straight down, see if you can take your gaze slight forward. Find a little lift in your heart. Give me 2 more slow breaths. And then without just slingshotting out of this, see if you can move slowly into an airplane pose. So as you're ready, swing your left arm back. Release your left leg and extend your left leg back. So now you want a smiley face shape from the top of your head back to your left toes. Hips are square. Hug in with your inner thighs. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Stand up. Give your legs a little shake. Give your arms a little shake. Woo-wee. That was challenging. So remember, you guys, if you're falling in and out, please don't be like, oh my gosh, I suck at yoga. I shouldn't do yoga. I'm the worst. That is why you're doing yoga. That is why you're practicing. So be kind to yourself. All right. Let's do the other side. So visualize with your mind's eye all of your weight coming into your left leg, root down into your left foot. Almost imagine there's roots growing out of your foot into the ground. So your left leg becomes like a tree stump, or like a tree trunk, I guess I should say. Bend your right knee, right heel towards your butt cheek. Left hand reaches back to grab the inner edge of your right foot. Hug your knees towards midline, hug your inner thighs towards midline. Make sure your left shoulder is rolling back. Reach your right arm to the sky. Breathe and find your balance here. Maybe this is where you stay. If you want to go for it, start to hinge at your hips, little bend in your standing leg. Kick and pull, so kick your foot into your hand. Pull your hand back into your foot. Spread your toes. Keep hugging in with your inner thighs. See if you can gaze slightly forward rather than straight down. Little lift in your heart. 2 more rounds, your fullest expression. I know it's hard. Hug in with your inner thighs. That's your stability. Woo! Hug in towards midline. I lost it there. Now, as slow as you can, airplane pose. So without slingshotting, release your right leg and extend your right leg back. Both arms reach back. Back muscles hug your spine. Inner thighs hug towards midline. Your fullest expression of airplane. Spread your toes. Hold for 3. Keep breathing. 2. And 1. Stand up. Good job. Shake it out. Woo. All right, my friends. So this is not a flow, but all we're going to do from here is we're going to sit in screaming toe pose. So fingertips to the ground, bend your knees, and then you should have your feet about hips width distance apart. Sit back on your heels, so toes are tucked under. You're just going to sit, screaming toe pose. Heels are not falling out to the sides. They point straight up. Your spine is long. Your breath is there. Maybe bring your hands to your heart. See if you can be here with me for about 4 or 5 rounds. Breathe down into the soles of your feet. Breathe down into your ankles, your shins, your calves. If this becomes way too much, fingertips can come to the ground in front of you. You can kind of lift your butt up, take some weight off. Take about 2 or 3 more deep breaths. It's so good for our plantar fascia, for the soles of our feet. Good work. Take 1 last round. End of your exhale, tabletop. So hands to the ground, walk them forward, untuck your toes, and just give your feet a gentle tap, tops of your feet against the ground. Tap it out. Nice job. When you're ready, back to downward facing dog. Walk it out and feel now that aliveness in your feet, in your legs. Breathe into it. Inhale, take your right leg to the sky. And exhale, right knee to left elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, or even higher if you can get there. Inhale, 3-legged dog. And listen with this exhale, pigeon pose. So right shin forward, set your body down. Right knee towards the outer right edge of your mat. Think of pulling your right hip back and up, your left hip forward and up. So what we want to do is plug the femur bones right into the socket, so we're not sinking into our joints, we're stretching the muscles around the joints. So once you feel like you've got that, got your strength, your structure to support the stretch, you can begin your bow forward, humble pigeon. And if there's a different variation you want to take, please feel free. We'll be here for about 5 to 7 to 10 breaths. So for a little while, just allow yourself to soften with each breath. Soften through your face, your neck, your shoulders. Soften through your outer shell. So if there was like an invisible layer around your body, around your skin, imagine you could just relax and soften through it. So think of your energetic body, your subtle body, what we can't see, but it's there. Soften that. Take about 3 more great, big, deep breaths. And then after you've taken your 3 more breaths, let's slowly transition back to our 3-legged dog. So if you have a certain way you like to get there, that's fine. I'm just gonna lift my upper body, plant my hands, tuck my back toes, and then take my right leg all the way back and up, give it a nice little shake out. So shake it out, and if flipping your dog would feel nice as a counter pose, go for it. If there's any other movements, poses, stretches you want to take in between sides, please feel free. So if you want to move through a vinyasa, now is your time. Otherwise, just explore, just stretch, just breathe. Maybe notice the difference between your right leg and your left leg, your right side and your left side. Reconnect to your big Ujjayi breaths just a little bit longer. Next, inhale, left leg to the sky, stretch and lengthen. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left to left, as high as you can get on your left arm. Inhale, 3-legged dog. And this time, exhale will take you to pigeon pose. So set your left shin top of your mat, or towards the top of your mat. Left knee towards the outer left edge. Pull your left hip back and up, right hip forward and up, so you're hugging in towards midline. Finding that strength and structure first. Then settle into your stretch. 5 to 7 to 10 breaths. So we will be here for a little while. Soften with each exhalation. Notice where your mind goes when we are still. Does it wander off? Does it start thinking about what you've got to do later today, your to-do list, your grocery shopping list, stuff like that? I think that's completely normal. We are human. That's what our minds are programmed to do, but this is your time to let go of that, to come into your body, to feel rather than think. So allow yourself to be in your body, to be more present with sensation, with energy, with emotion from the inside out. Take about 3 to 5 more slow, deep breaths. I'm just gonna leave it ultimately up to you. So when you feel pretty much even on both sides, slowly find your way back to your three-legged down dog. And you can get there in your own way or with me if you want to. Plant your hands, spread your fingers, tuck your back toes, and take your left leg all the way back and up. Give it a nice shake out. Feel the blood rushing back through. Those little tiny stardust particles moving through your body. I like to imagine that. If you want to flip your dog or any other stretches, movements, if you want one final vinyasa, now is your time to take it. And we'll meet in a regular down dog next couple breaths or so. So one last time in our down dog, just feel all your strength and then all that space you've created on the inside, breathe into it. Let's take one more great big huge breath. And then slowly, gently bring your knees to the ground. Let's find our way down onto our backs. Your face, or excuse me, your head can face whichever direction you would like. Not super important to me. Once you're on your back, you can give your knees a nice squeeze in if that would feel good. And then we're just gonna move into some windshield wipers with our legs. So feet on the ground with your knees bent, feet wider than your hips. You can tee out your arms or cactus your arms and just let your knees fall from one side to the other. So take a couple rounds of windshield wiper. And then we're going to move into one last heart opener. I am going to cue for bridge. If you want to go into full wheel, upward facing bow, that's perfectly fine with me. So feet on the ground with your knees bent. All 10 toes face forward, feet hips width distance apart. And your heels should be pretty much underneath your knees or just very slightly in front of them, not much in front of them. Arms by your sides, palms face down. Exhale in your breath, pull your belly button down towards the ground, scoop your tailbone up, and then one vertebra at a time, peel your spine off your yoga mat. When you reach the top, so as far as you can go, if you want to take a different variation, maybe you want to kind of shimmy your shoulders underneath you, interlace your fingers, maybe you want to take robot arms, and if you want to go for those little lifting and lowerings of your butt, building that tunnel underneath your mid-spine. If you take my class often, you know what I'm talking about. Go for it. So you've got about 5 breaths in your bridge or in your back bend of choice. Big, deep breaths. Think of sending your breath all the way down, not just into your low belly, but into the front of your hips. So those hip flexor muscles, give them oxygen, give them attention. Create space there. About 2 more rounds wherever you're working. If you want to take a supported bridge and you have something at home you can use as a prop, as support, then feel free. All right, friends, if you are in bridge or in a back bend, then slowly start to find your way down, and I'll let you just slowly, is the key word, with awareness, find your way out of it at your own time. And then once you get back down, so your spine is back on the ground, take a few more rounds of those windshield wipers with your legs. Tee out your arms or cactus your arms, let your knees fall from side to side. You can go as slowly or as quickly as you want. I was talking to somebody and they're like, oh, I thought my butt was supposed to stay down the whole time so I couldn't move my knees very much. No, you can totally lift one butt cheek off the ground as your knees fall in the other direction. And then lift your other butt cheek, your other hip up as your knees fall in the other direction. So just back and forth. Couple more times. This is so good for your hips, so good for your low back. find your way into a happy baby posture. And then after you've taken a few breaths in happy baby, so no rush, feel free to explore, to straighten one leg, then the other, even both at the same time. But any other poses, any other stretches, any other final movements that you would like to take to complete your own practice, then give yourself just a few breaths to do so. And then you guys, no rush. But eventually just settle into your final relaxation. And I have just a very simple quote for you as you settle in. It says, "The bad news is you are falling through the air, nothing to hang on to, no parachute. The good news is there is no ground." So sometimes I feel like life feels like that. We're just falling through the air, no parachute, nothing to hang on to, no road signs, nothing to tell us where to go or where to land. The good news is there is no ground, so that is just life. We're not going to come to this terrible crashing down. We're just one day at a time, one moment at a time, moving forward, one step at a time, one breath at a time, figuring out where to go next from here, from this place, from this moment. So I will leave you in your Shavasana. You can turn on music if you'd like. You can be in silence if you'd like. And just give yourself as much time as you have, whether that's 30 seconds, whether that's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, to just sit or lay. Let your breath be effortless. So just let it happen on its own at this point. And allow yourself to just be where you are, not needing to know where you will end up. Just be where you are right now and surrender to that. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Travis. I love you. Everyone, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and you can close your practice for yourself when you're ready in a way that resonates for you. Thank you. I love you. Namaste.